All right, guys, I know you were expecting some videos or content about me at Fanatics Fest. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to swing it this time, but they're going to be in Orlando in November, the beginning of November. But I'm also going to be set up at a Shriners show, so it's going to be very difficult to swing both if I'm able to. But maybe I'll have a couple tricks up my sleeve. But anyways, I want to make a video about the direction of the hobby, the direction of sports cards, more specifically because I came across this article. I literally just Googled sports cards and then I typed in news and I wanted to kind of find an article here and I'll make it bigger in just a second, but I want to clarify that this isn't a hit piece by any chance. This isn't me bashing on this guy's opinion or anything. I just want to piggyback off of one specific thing that he said. So let me enlarge it for you guys. This is an article written, when was it written? 4 days ago, actually enough. Local sports card shop owner excited about future of sports cards and memorabilia. And I'm not going to play the video, but I really want to just hone in on one specific quote. And it's like the first thing from this article. And I'll read a little bit about the article as well. Experts are predicting by 2032, there will be $50 billion into the sports card and sports memorabilia market. That's the focal point of this video right there. Is just that first sentence. Experts are predicting. First of all, I want to know who those experts are. By 2032, so in 7.5 years, 8 years, there will be $50 billion into the sports card and sports memorabilia market. Now, the memorabilia market is very, very popular. It is a sought after industry for collectors, more specifically, because it's kind of hard to flip memorabilia, you know, with the cost that it entails. $50 billion, that's a big, big number. And I want to focus on that because a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, but some people come into the shop now and they'll say like, "Oh, I never saw this happening. Oh, COVID changed everything. Oh, I'm sure it'll die down. I'm sure it'll go down. I'm sure things will go back to normal." And unfortunately, things will never go back to normal as we now live in a new society with a new normal. And I really think that ultimately COVID helped the hobby. It helped all hobbies. And I've preached this several times here on the channel, regardless if it's comics, video games, sports cards, Pokemon, whatever it may be. It significantly helped it because it found a passion for a lot of people who were just sitting at home. And a lot of people have been able to turn those passions into business or businesses, I should say. And then here we are a few years later, projecting a $50 billion market. That is absolutely insane. But my biggest thing that I want to mention is this just show again, I want to know who the experts are, but let's just say they're credible and reliable. This just shows that the market and the industry and the hobby itself is not going away. It is not crashing. Look at what Fanatics is doing for the hobby with Fanatics Fest that I kind of led off the video with. They're having at famous superstar Hall of Fame legend athletes at this one center in New York where people can go meet them, take photos, get autographs. There's a card show, there's exclusive merchandise, exclusive cards. I mean, it's just super awesome. And I'm actually really excited that it's not just a once a year kind of a thing like the National is. They're doing multiple events a year, is kind of what I'm trying to say. And it's going to be costly. Now, listen, I know a lot of those athletes are Fanatics exclusive guys, but it still costs money to get Tom Brady down there. It still costs money to get Peyton Manning, Barry Sanders, Livy Dunn. I mean, it's going to cost a lot of money to keep having these athletes return. So I'm really curious in the direction moving forward for Fanatics Fest. But when you have Fanatics, Michael Rubin doing what they're doing in this hobby, first buying baseball, then getting the license, well, soon to be getting the license for basketball and football and WWE and just everything else that they're acquiring, it just shows the strength of the current hobby, but it also shows the strength of where they foresee the hobby in the market to be in the short term and in the long term, regardless what that window is. But they still see a profitable market in a market that they can hopefully positively affect, unlike Panini, whereas they don't mind spending all of this money because they know that they'll see a return and they strongly believe that what they're doing is good for the hobby. And I from what I'm hearing in Fanatics Fest, I seems like that it is pretty good. So this is really the one thing I wanted to talk about, like I mentioned a couple times now, but I will read the rest of the article, which is actually fairly short. So Josh Walters is the owner of JWW Sports Cards and Gaming, which is a shop in North Dakota. He thinks investing in a sports card is like investing in a stock. It's like the stock market. So, I mean, every day it can change picking the right things to invest. And there's tons of really good investment opportunities in the industry, whether it be on the gaming side or the sports side. End quote. I would kind of disagree with that. People have invested in Cade Cunningham, people have invested in Mac Jones, people have invested in Wander Franco, and a lot of them just don't pan out. 1% of these guys really appreciate and mature over time. And I think too many people have a short term perspective on it, and they don't allow these investments to mature and appreciate over time, which investments are. Now, I'm not counting quick flips because you're able to obviously buy something for $10 and sell it for $30 in a month, and I'm not counting that. I don't really consider that an investment, but I guess it's a short-term investment, I guess we could call it. But when I'm thinking of a stock or the stock market, a lot of people who know anything about the stock market or just have some kind of comprehensive idea of what it is, typically it's long-term gains. Now, of course, there's the whole day trading thing, and I guess that's probably the stock version of flipping. I guess buying a stock and hoping someone buys it for more and then you're selling it at its peak. So, I mean, I guess stocks and sports cards have more similarities than I once thought. As I'm making this video, it seems, wow, I guess maybe they are the same. But when you think of stocks, you more so think of like, Warren Buffett and long term investing and making money through the stock market. So it's very difficult with sports cards to do that. I think the sealed products, especially hobby boxes, cases, booster boxes for Pokemon now, I think have a really good chance at maturing and appreciating over time. I still think vintage is a really good, smart investment, but it can't just be any vintage card. I think early year or rookie cards of your Hall of Famers. Now, I know that there's some recent sales to kind of show that even vintage is starting to slip off a little bit. But again, short term stuff. Think long term. 5 years, 10 years, where's it going to be between now and then? And I think that's kind of what people are kind of blinded to when they look at, all right, I want to buy it for this and I want to sell it for this. And then they just sell it for this and they don't make as much money as they could or they're losing money. Walter said as a kid it was a dream to own a card shop. Quote, when you're little, I want to own a card shop. You never think it's going to be a realistic idea until you just make it happen. Honestly, I never thought I was going to own a card shop. I always wanted to do something with sports, whether it was my own clinic, like batting cage clinic or basketball clinic. Sports counseling was a big thing. I wanted to be like a an agent. It was just card shop was never on the agenda. But I'm glad that it is. I'm glad that it was. Yeah. So it's never really realistic until you just make it happen. And I guess this would go to anybody looking to open any kind of small business. Is you got to make sure you do your research. You got to make sure that it's the right idea. Talk it over with some people. But there's always going to be question marks. You just got to go do it. You just have to make it happen. Push your chips into the center and go all in. And maybe don't go all in because you don't want to set yourself up for the next 40 years of failure, but at least make a very strong effort. Sports card memorabilia can be worth thousands, even millions. The most expensive card ever sold was a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 10, which sold really PSA 10. I didn't think it was a 10. It's definitely yeah, SGC 95. Look at that. Look at the clickbait on this. This is clickbait. They said 52 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 10. I'm like, wait, no, that has not happened. And I click it, and it's a link to a 9.5 from SGC. What clickbait? That sold for a whopping 12.6 million. A PSA 10 is projected, which has never hit the open market, but it's projected to sell for, I believe last time I checked, $30 million. Crazy. There's only 3 in existence. Walter says he has his favorite car. Okay, I don't care about the favorite car. That's him. Yeah, meeting Adley and was it Gunner? Being a owner of a sports car shop, you meet plenty of people, and Walter says that's the best part. Being face to face with customers is obviously the best part, the most rewarding part. I agree. Especially when the little kids come in and they pull something they really like or they find a card of their favorite athlete or Pokemon. That's the best part, I think. That I would completely agree with. So there was really nothing much else I wanted to dive in. Found some clickbait, was able to agree on a few things, and I just kind of want to emphasize the $50 billion. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody foresaw a crash in the 90s. Then again, it took a drastic MLB strike for that to kind of happen in 1994, in August of 94. I don't foresee that happening anytime soon, fingers crossed, in any of the major sports, especially with the amount of money that's being pulled in with media deals, NIL for college athletes, obviously. Then you have just sponsorship deals for the players, and the contracts are getting insane. Otani making 700 million, Tatum making 300 and something million, Brown making 300 something million. So there's a lot of money in the sports industry right now, and we're seeing that trickle down into the sports card industry as well. So for anybody that says that the market is crashing, I really think that they should pause, take a second, and kind of look at the whole hobby, the hobby as a whole, because is it crashing? No. Maybe what you're doing in your specific collection with your specific journey is maybe not. I'm trying to word I'm trying to word this very, very right, so I don't sound like I'm trying to word this in a very nice way. What you're doing in your hobby endeavors may be hurting your own journey based off of the decisions you're making. Maybe you're selling too soon. Maybe you're buying too high. Maybe you're not making the right deals or the right investments, so to speak. Hopefully I said that in a soothing way so I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. I get people chatting, "Oh my god, oh Murph is so mean." But I mean, 50 billion, that's a lot of money, guys, and that's a healthy market, a healthy hobby, especially one that just exploded 4 years ago, obviously here in 2024, but by the time 2032 rolls around, it would have been 12 years ago that the hobby exploded. And I think it's going in a very good direction right now. Still a lot to tell, still a lot to kind of find out about, but I do like the direction that we're going. I'm seeing a lot new people coming into the shop. I'm seeing more consistent customers coming into the shop here. And I think that's all positive health for the hobby. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I really hope you were able to take something away from this video. And if you did, comment that down below. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you press all the buttons, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the channel membership program. If you enjoyed this video, I've queued up an excellent video right there for you guys that I do believe is going to be excellent for your hobby endeavors. Hopefully, I'll see you in that one.